think in such a place, I had to find a place to live. Specifically, where to live in my junior and senior years, when most students live off campus. Now, we students are not widely known for doing things in advance. For most of us, advanced planning is not really a thing. Study for finals, night before. Make Valentine's Day plans with Bae, last minute. Go to the Career Center in our first year? I don't think so. Get a tutor at the Rennell Center before you fail your first exam? Nice try. If it's due tomorrow, we can do it tomorrow. But for some reason, when it comes to signing a lease for off-campus housing, we can't wait. Some students feel compelled to sign a lease in their first year for junior year housing. Why the hell are we doing that? To answer that question, we at Such a Life did extensive research, and here's what we found. We have no idea why we do this. Some of us are doing it because the upper class members of student organizations are pressuring first years to sign leases for pass-down houses. You are the chosen ones. You get the privilege of living in our organization's dumpster fire of a house. However, despite popular belief, according to a recent survey of off-campus students, most students do not sign leases this early. Early signing of leases is in the same category as sex and high-risk drinking. We have the perception that everybody's doing it, but in reality, most people are not doing it. One of the benefits of having a 2-year residency requirement at Miami is that it gives us a chance to explore all the housing options in Oxford over the course of a year and a half. It also gives us a chance to let lasting friendships form, so we're not rooming with the first 9 people we met during welcome weekend when we're not really a good fit. Can you imagine if the senior members of the Trump administration signed a lease 18 months in advance? Another good reason to wait to sign a lease for junior and senior years is because so many other things are undecided. So many of us study abroad, get internships, or become RAs or scholar leaders. It would suck to not do those things because you signed an off-campus lease 6 months ago, or even worse, to lose all that money if you accept one of those opportunities. Because that's the other thing we've learned. Off-campus housing leases are legally binding contracts. That means you still have to pay even if your circumstances change, even if the change is not your fault. If you sign a lease in the spring of your first year, but then in the spring of your second year you get accepted into the SpaceX Student in Space program, you'll still have to pay your lease. If you transfer to South Sheboygan State University, you still have to pay your lease. If you're hired to be a backup dancer on Taylor Swift's next tour, but because you're such a great dancer, she gets jealous, kicks you off the tour, tries to smear you on Twitter, which leads to massive exposure that results in you getting brought on for a season of Dancing with the Stars, you still have to pay your lease. Now, you might be thinking, no problem, I can get someone to sublease my space. Wrong. Some people are successful at finding a subleaser, but many end up eating the cost of that housing. So please, avoid the anxiety, frustration, and financial costs, and just wait to sign a lease for junior or senior year until the semester before. Now, I know some of you are nervous you're not going to get a good place to live. If I wait, I might end up living in the storage closet in the basement of Skyline Chili. Not to worry. Because of recent new construction and renovation of rental properties in Oxford, it is a renter's market. That means, for those of you who slept through microeconomics, the supply of apartments and houses to rent exceeds the typical number of people who want to rent them. You could probably get a good place to live off campus tomorrow. And living in a passed-down house with a group of people you don't really know is a bad idea anyway. Check out a few resources listed in the description of this episode, including the Tenant Education Program in Canvas, the Off-Campus Housing Service website, and ASG's off-campus housing fairs, typically held in October and February. And if you do end up living in the basement of Skyline Chili with the wrong people, let me know. I'll come visit. For Such a Life, I'm Jack Troiano. For more Such a Life, go to YouTube and search for ResLife at Miami University.